You are listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia Griffin. To master a higher frequency for a new state of mind. Once you walked in a forest of splendor in which everything you did and everything you thought was aligned. It is possible at this time to begin to return to the old knowledge. Intuitive healer and manifestor Julia Griffin is here to talk about this unique time in history when all sentient beings, animals, plants, trees, and the earth are intent on creating this change. The wolves awakened her to the most incredible light, which opened gifts and brought knowledge that she longs to share. You are creators, and you are born to be creators of beauty, possibility, and joy. Join Julia on a journey into a beautiful and magical world where amazing possibilities exist. Let us help open the door. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening with Julia Griffin starts right now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Griffin, and you're listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour, and let us help you experience a higher vibration and a new state of mind. Welcome to the show. Let me tell you about today's show. We're talking about earth changes, totem animals, how to communicate more with nature, how to find your true self through specific processes that anyone can use if you want to, as well as letting go of who you are not. Because there's something important about letting go of who you're not. When you do that, you're always going to find a wonderful part of yourself that's been lost, and it's something that you didn't know that you had. This was one of the processes that I went through when I was spending a lot of time with the wolves, and one I've repeated many times. And I think you'll find it beneficial. This should be exciting, so let's get started now. What time is it? It's always good to align ourselves with nature and to know what's happening in the world around us. So we have a waxing moon. The moon is increasing in size. Its pull on the ocean and its pull on our emotions is greater during this phase. I also learned when I gardened a great deal that the waxing moon means that it's time to plant seeds. It's time to think about what you want to grow in your life. So take just a second to think about your life and what you want to create. What do you really want? So what's one step that you can take, something different that you can do, or something you can repeat with great intent, and begin taking steps accordingly. The sun is in Pisces, and Mercury, which is communications, is retrograde in Pisces. And that sort of gives us a dreamy feeling right now. Sometimes it's a little heavy or dense. It can make you feel a little tired, or make you feel like it's harder than usual to work on your dreams or work on your life. But please continue to take small steps. Move through that slow, heavy feeling. Stay focused. You'll feel so much better if you stick with your goals, your desires, and your spiritual path. I promise you'll get one of those wonderful waves of the new energies that's coming through if you go ahead and you make the effort. When I'm saying make the effort, it's going to be more than just working on your dreams. Maybe you can be more attuned when you do your everyday task. Maybe you can be more attuned when you're outside. Maybe you can be more attuned about being alive. Because all of these things are steps into your higher self. It's interesting to note that nowadays almost every week has a specific feeling, like the heavy, dreamy feeling that I just described. And we're really sharing that with everyone in our country, maybe in the world. So when you notice that something is repetitive over 4 or 5 days, you're probably feeling that sensation. In part, this is because of the collective energies of the Aquarian age, when we all come together with a higher vibration to make conscious change in the world, And all of our thoughts and all of our gifts as individuals come together to create that. Having said this, you do not have to be a part of that vibration. If you say that you feel a certain way and everyone is agreeing, that's probably the vibration. But you can always choose another set of feelings or thoughts and focus there. And that's the joy of being a co-creator. That's the joy of manifesting. You don't have to blend into these group urges or group feelings. Now, something that is going on right now is the news. It's always there, with usually more bad news for us. Earlier this week or yesterday, it was the stock market and the coronavirus. But we don't have to buy that. Right now, you can see yourself with unlimited prosperity and abundance that comes from the connection of the universe. You can see the forces of nature and the universe making you happy, healthy, and vital. It's a choice you can make right now. You can imagine that these things go away, that you're the person who's exercising your choice to see a better world, to stay out of what I call mass consciousness, the lower group energies of the world. From personal experience, I can say it's much more fun to create something cool and wonderful and to let go of who you're not, because when you're stepping into abundance or happiness, you're being a pioneer. You're in that new frontier of creating from who you are. If you're concerned that that might be selfish, think about this. This wonderful thing happens when you start creating abundance and happiness and joy and harmony in your life. You've created a path that anyone else who is in the light and can open their heart and wants to experience these things can feel and can follow. And this is why many people feel frightened or feel overwhelmed with the difficulty of a task because of that heavy energy of mass consciousness. Having said that, creating is your birthright. It's what you came here to do. You came in to vibrate in love so fully and so beautifully that the molecules of the Earth's frequency or the material world can actually listen to you and replicate what you hold in your mind and thoughts. So, how do I know this? How did I learn this? I learned it from the wolves. They shared their vision of our potential, and I'm here to share it with you today. When I listen to the wolves, the whales, the coyotes, the dolphins, creatures that emit sonic noise, that carry the frequencies of the earth at her best, and they literally sing the songs of the earth that help to keep us alive, and the songs of you at your best, I see that the energies of the earth are divided into a higher realm, a lower realm, and there is still a space where people in the middle congregate as an undecided group, neither good nor bad. So if you're in the middle, you're going to be moved by higher consciousness and lower consciousness. But probably if you're listening to this, you're on the wave of higher consciousness, and you can apply these things. Now to go back to the earth changes. She's changing very quickly. If you can see energy, the ley lines, which are the power lines of the earth, just like we have chakras and meridians, are changing. The weather is changing. We've had earthquakes, storms, volcanoes, and unseasonable weather. Animals are very aware of the lines of the earth and the changes in the weather. For example, wolves lie on the ley lines, as do other animals. They know by lying or sitting there, they can recharge and create a better manifestation. So you can find your lines of earth energy by noticing where it's comfortable to meditate outdoors. Your body will relax there. It will be easier to focus. You can go for a walk. It's an odd thing, but when you find the right spaces of energy, you stop talking to yourself in a negative way. Your aura expands. You notice the beauty, the beat of your heart, and how everything feels aligned. And this is one way that anyone can re-energize, and it feels so good. With the weather, maybe it's engineered, maybe it's not, but we still have the capacity to change it and ask for the perfect weather of where we are. And it will happen if many of us imagine it. So it's important to know that, just for general information, the rain washes away heavy emotion. Thunder and lightning clear the air. Earthquakes clear the energy line. Volcanoes bring the sacred energy of spiritual fire. And this is all on a higher level when it happens naturally. So if you know these things about harmony, nature, and life, you can amplify them by asking for their gifts. You can also change them, the same techniques we've used for manifestation. For example, see the earth as harmonious, see sacred places protected, change rain into sunshine or vice versa, cold into warmth or the other way around. It takes practice, but as we learn it together, we can move into harmony with the earth, which protects all of us and all the parts of us, both body and soul. So we've been talking about earth changes and how to go with them or even benefit from them or make them happen in a harmonious way around us. We spoke of energy lines and the great divide in energy that's taking place right now. When we come back, we'll talk about animal totems, which is another way that the earth speaks to you. So let's go to break now.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Hi, this is Kimberly Carlson, and I would love for you to tune in to All In Healing Radio, where together we will begin to experience health, happiness, and harmony in all areas and aspects of life. Join us every first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. on transformationtalkradio.com. All In Healing will help you release layers of negative beliefs and energies for radiant health, deep joy, and greater abundance. Visit me at KimberlyCarlson.com.
Tales from the Merworld with Amira Bath, exploring the mysteries of Atlantis and Lemuria, airing every second and fourth Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Tales from the Merworld Radio is a blend of mythology, theology, and ancient history, and Amira's own soul channelings. Are you ready to explore and validate the possibility that we are much more than our earth bodies? Amira Bath's Tales from the Merworld Radio holds safe space discussions for remembrances and memories of topics like multidimensional existences and simultaneous lives. Together, we will be raising our vibrations through stimulating conversations and the opening and releasing of the remembrance of our soul purposes for this incarnation. Join me, Amira Bath, for Tales of the Merworld Radio.
Are you ready to awaken to your divine and true potential? Tune in to A Spirited Exchange Radio with me, Carrie Kadambi, every second and fourth Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. We discuss the evolution of the modern mind and how the power of awakening, healing, and connecting allows us to step into living a life of love in action. For more information about me, visit thedivineguidancegift.com.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Griffin at OneTrueSelf.com, ONETrueSelf.com, and you're listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio, where you can experience a higher vibration and a new state of mind. Earlier, we talked about earth energies and how to benefit from them and work with them. Now we're going to talk about animal totems, which this is really fun because everyone has animals, birds, something in your life every day. We'll talk a little bit about what they mean and how to read them. So on a bigger level, animal totems are the way in which the earth and the spirits above us speak to us through the presence of animals. So animals show up in your space when it's a very powerful sensation or they live with you. You are really aligned with that animal totem. However, animals also show up in day-to-day life. They can amplify the energy that you're working on, or they can show you that you're out of alignment with it. And this is just a really beautiful way of being connected and noticing what's going on around you, as well as feeling this energy that nature's providing for you. And it's very beautiful energy because animals are gorgeous. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the big totems. And I've had 3, well, I have more, but anyway, I'll talk about 3 of them. So you always have a very strong reaction to a totem animal that's coming in to change your life. For example, part of this is societal, but I always felt afraid of wolves all during my childhood and even throughout some of my adulthood until I actually met one and realized how much I loved them. You know, it's like immediately falling madly in love. But I dreamed about them almost every week of my childhood. And it's normal to have that passionate feeling of being very attracted to or very afraid of whatever your totem animal is. So here's an opposite example. I can remember the first time I saw a wild deer. I think I was about 6 or 7. And how my heart leapt for joy when I watched it leap across the road and flee into the woods, and how beautiful I thought that leap was, and the way the tail came up and it was like a white flag. Oh, it was so beautiful. And I wanted to see more of them, and I was intrigued by it. So that's a different example, and I did actually live with a deer for some time, and I'll talk to you about that. Let's talk about more what happens on a day-to-day level for a moment. So if we know totem animals come to speak to us from the spirit world, and they have a message. For those of us who live in a rural area, as is most of Georgia, where I live, it's not uncommon to see many animals such as hawks, possum, raccoons, and deer. I mean, that happens a lot. But it's very different if the animal is in close proximity to your personal space. So I was meditating last Saturday, and I sat on the deck, and there is a lot of green space here, but you don't often see deer. And a doe and her 2 fawns came and lay down very near me while I was meditating, and it was amazing because that feeling of stillness and that sensation of peace just flooded through me. And deer bring unconditional love, and that made me feel wonderful because I thought, I must have had that during my meditation. Now, another word about that is deer are a softer totem than a wolf, because a wolf carries a lot of power. So it's not surprising that it's easier to feel alignment with a softer totem animal. Now, in day-to-day life, when the animal is in close proximity to your personal space, just like I described with the deer, or let's say you're at a stop sign and a hawk sails over your car 2 or 3 times, well, the hawk is talking to you. Where I walk every day at a lake, and I take my dog, there's this beautiful great blue heron. who actually has a mate, but not this time of the year. If he lands right in front of me or near me and he talks to me and makes sounds, then I know that that blue heron is talking to me. And that's about having balance. And so I know when I see that heron that either I need to work on balance and calm, or he's appearing to me because I'm in a state of balance and calm. And just in case you wondered, no, the dog doesn't bark at him. He's curious too. So an animal that appears often, stays in your life, or acts in an unusual way is definitely communicating with you. So that's, how you tell. Say, for example, you have a blue jay that comes up to eat out of your feeder every day. That bird lives there. It's not the same thing. So 3 animals in my life, for examples, include a mockingbird, a doe, and the wolves. And I did want to tell you that you can type in the name of an animal or a bird if you see it, followed by the words totem in meaning or symbol into Google, and it'll come up and you can read that. So just so you can get a feeling of totems. I had a mockingbird. When I found him, he just had a few feathers. He'd been blown out of a nest during a storm. And I raised him, and you feed them about 12 or 14 times a day. But he did grow up, and he very quickly picked up the sounds of good morning and hello, because mockingbirds can make any kind of sound pretty much. And he would say it back to me. And after he went back and became an adult, he would peck on my window every morning and say, good morning, hello, good morning, hello, until I woke up. He also knew when I was in the yard, and he'd often fly down pretty close to me and talk to me. And he would sing at my window if I felt sad. So mockingbirds are the power of the voice, the ability to pick up on spoken energies and sounds of others, and telepathy. So you can ask yourself very quickly, how did he know when I was oversleeping? How did he know what time to wake me up? And how did he know if I was sad? Well, totem animals know all these things. I also had a doe for 3 or 4 years, a deer, female deer, and she came to live with me when I was about 12 years old. She was very beautiful and tame, and she could come in the house and lie by the sofa. And deer have the gift of stillness, the ability to hide without moving in an obvious place, and which is a way of pulling in energy. And they emanate unconditional love. Obviously, they're very fast and can jump over obstacles. But she took away the awkwardness that I felt in adolescence. She was so beautiful, and I could feel that beauty when I was with her, and it changed the way I moved and the way I ran. And sometimes I would get up in the middle of the night and run with her for an hour or two. And it was the most wonderful feeling, like flying and feeling free. So we've been talking about animal totems and how the earth and spirit world communicate with us through the presence of animals and about their power. When we come back, we'll talk a little more about totem animals and letting go of who you are not and becoming more of who you truly are, which is what we all want. So let's go to break now.
Are you your story? Or can you change your story? Can you change what you believe to be true about yourself and your circumstances as part of your healing journey? What if you were to change your expectations? What if you were to invite ease and cooperation into every day and then step back and see what happens? It might just be easier. I'm Megan Edge, and I hope that you'll join me on my new radio show, Playing on the Edge, Radical Change with Ease, with my co-host Dr. Pat on Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to seeing you there.
Want to find out more about Megan Edge? Visit her website at meganedge.ca.
Are you ready to shift your current beliefs about death, from debilitating pain and loss? Follow Angie Corbett-Kuiper as she shares that through choice, present moment awareness, and keeping an open mind that anything is possible, even in death. Tune in to Beyond Proof Radio with Angie, redefining death and loss, every first Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit BeyondProof.com.
Conscious Confidence Radio, a timeless wisdom with Sarah Main. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio and join Sarah on an adventurous journey to the deeper level of meaning to move beyond today's world of constant change, confusion, and uncertainty beyond the shadow of fear. This hit show explores key concepts such as confidence, values, and attitude in a dynamic way. To learn more about Sarah and her work, visit sarahmain.com.
How do you feel? Just okay? Well, how about you tune in and get ready to be more with the Healing Hour with me, Doc Martin, every third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. I'm ready for your questions, and I can't wait to help you find the answers. Every month we'll have a new live call-in show with innovative topics and a powerful hour of healing. To learn more about me, visit DrSharonMartin.com. See you there. I'm going to be here. You won't want to miss it.
Dream on, fly high, and live adventurously on The Laura Meeks Show. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Laura Meeks guides you in finding your unique gifts and bringing them to life. As a certified life coach, speaker, and veteran bomber pilot for the U.S. Air Force, Laura knows how to follow a dream. She is ready to support you so you can dream on, fly high, and live adventurously. For more information on Laura and her work, visit flyhighliving.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Griffin at OneTrueSelf.com, ONETrueSelf.com, and you're listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio, where you can experience a higher vibration and a new state of mind. We're talking about totem animals, which are very important about recognizing and help you to recognize what's going on in your life and what the energies are that are incoming. And we're going to talk about working with the parts of you that don't reflect who you are, which is not a bad thing, because you're going to find some wonderful things underneath that. And you'll be glad that you listened. So let's get started. I was talking about my pet deer that I had when I was around 12 years old. Deer are beautiful, and you feel that beauty. And if you play with them every day and run with them and walk with them, you absorb some of their grace and some of their physical agility. And as an adolescent, it made me feel much better about myself. My life flowed into more harmony because I just felt this lift, this incredible energy when I would run with her and play with her. And by the way, deer love to play hide and go seek. And so I let go of the self-dislike, which is, a big part of adolescence, I think. So having given me this beautiful lesson, she eventually went back into the wild and had many fawns. And sometimes she would show up at the edge of the forest and call to us. Deer do make almost a bleating sound, sort of like a goat, but higher pitched and smoother, when they want to communicate with you. And so when we looked and saw her beautiful babies, she would run back into the woods. So I guess she wanted us to see them and to know that she was okay. So these are wonderful experiences that are not unknown to people who live in rural places. But the wolves were quite different. They are the great teachers in the world of totems. And they were certainly this to me. Wolves are powerful, ruthless, and intensely loving, along with having incredible psychic abilities. So you might think for a moment, why would a wolf that I'm describing as powerful and ruthless be so loving? They have such great physical abilities, and they're so powerful. that nothing can really hurt them. You can shoot one, but I'm talking about in real life. If you're outside with one, so they can afford to love you with all their hearts because they don't have physical weaknesses. And when you're encased in that love, it must be the way that mothers love their babies. It feels like it goes into every particle of you, that it goes into your soul, and it goes quite deeply into who you are. I think that when I met them, I was probably loving and had undeveloped psychic abilities, but I certainly didn't know anything about power or physical power or having boundaries. And one of the beautiful lessons from the wolves is that part of love is being powerful. Part of love is having boundaries. And part of love is having the courage to speak your truth and to walk in the right direction. If you live with wolves or you spend a lot of time around them, you'll find that they constantly push your physical and emotional boundaries to see if you're afraid, to see if you can hold your space, and if you have power. If you want to walk with the wolves, you have to learn how to do these things. Every animal in your life will present a lesson and a challenge and a psychic vibration. If you learn the lesson, then you receive the wisdom and the gift of their presence. But you must recognize the lesson. What if I had just thought that wolves were telling me a story and that was funny? It wasn't important. It didn't have anything to do with our evolution or the planet or how information was transmitted. So what am I saying? I'm saying it's easy to overlook the importance of the messages and the psychic communication from animals. So if this happens to you, be more aware. Say to yourself, what is the lesson? What is that creature trying to say to me? What does the universe want me to know? So you have to have a place in you that opens to the truth of the message or is willing to see it and is ready to receive it and move into a greater place of knowing. So let's talk a little more about this. You can personally begin with just the birds that appear in your life. No matter where you live, you're going to see birds. Many red cardinals means someone on the other side is trying to communicate with you or wants to send you love. Hummingbirds and bluebirds mean that joy is coming. Turkeys are about giving away what you don't need and sharing with others. Hawks and eagles are messengers of the air. When they come close, they're delivering a message from the spirit world. Important to pay attention. So here are a couple more examples. A friend of mine who runs huge distances, like 50 miles up a mountain and down a mountain, has had a moose at her house. Well, think about a moose. They can run really long distances. They're very strong. They're very powerful. She's training for a race. So the moose is there to give her energy. Now, does she know this? No. But I've seen pictures of the moose on Facebook. So this is one way that they come in. I've told you all these different ways that you can find out what they do mean. My father was very close to crows. When I was a little girl, he could climb a tree and bring down a baby crow out of a nest, and I could hold it and listen to it talk, and it would cuddle with me, and then he would put it back in the nest. The birds never minded. The crows loved him. Sometimes we would walk for miles and miles through the woods, through the swamp, thickets, all kinds of things. And if there was any danger, all of the crows would gather around him, and they would give a certain call. So in his case, and crows are magic, they protected him. So these are just another couple of examples of how you can learn about yourself and the world and what's going on around you. Now, on another note, if you truly want to enter the world of nature and learn and benefit from it, you'll always have to give up who you think you are and become who you really are. That's how it works. On the most basic level, if you want to watch birds and have animals join you and experience this energy, you have to learn to get very quiet and still within yourself. If you want to give up who you are not, you need to begin with, you're an incredibly wonderful person, a child of the universe with a beautiful heart and so many gifts. But sometimes it's hard to see it because life gets in the way. So let's talk about how that happens. Life gets in the way through the karmic lessons that we encounter. So remember, I told you when I first met the wolves, I didn't feel that I had any power. They thought that I did. So I had to learn to see myself in a new way and give up the not feeling. And this happens because of our karmic lessons. The times our feelings are hurt, when situations occur that we don't understand and we lose energy, because people don't get us or want to hurt our feelings to make themselves feel better or powerful, or because they're jealous. And then there are those hard lessons that we all go through when we feel less than, and we have to really work to find our courage and to move back into wholeness. And it's an ongoing effort for us. I mean, no matter how hard we work on all of this, we still have to keep working on it. So what we're talking about is finding your goodness, learning to believe in yourself, believing that what you're seeing and feeling about yourself is more real than what's happening, or is more real than those emotions or thoughts that come in sometimes. And learning to remind yourself all the time that you're more. And that if you're working on yourself and you keep doing these things and seeing these things, you are going to become more. So let's look at some common things that we all feel, myself included. Sometimes we feel alone and lonely. But we know on a higher level that we're not alone. Because when you're on a higher level and in a higher vibration, the universe is always there. The earth is speaking to you, and it wants to help. When you feel this presence from the universe, life starts to open, and it presents opportunities. If you step into the opportunities, you're always going to meet and interact with new people who get you, or at least help you change your focus or how you flow through life. It's really that feeling of loneliness that keeps out the truth of your capability to connect and find what you're looking for. So let go of that now and bring in that universal connection. And just imagine for a moment that there's so many people out there who are looking for exactly what you have. Well, there's also sadness. That's another emotion. Emotions are not always real, and it is possible to move out of those things. We all feel sad sometimes, and a lot of the time it's about the lack of permanence in life, because people and animals come and go, as well as aspects of our life. You know, sometimes one part of our life sort of has to die until we move into the next one. And it's natural to feel sadness because we feel like something's been taken away from us. And we don't always feel like moving into the next phase. But we can always start by appreciating what we do have and the good things and how they make you feel. You can also notice what is working. And you can ask the universe to lift you into a higher frequency where you feel less of it. Because there's this really strange thing that when you feel a lower emotion, mass consciousness, which I talked about in the beginning, or lower mass consciousness, pulls you down. Some sadness also comes from identifying with the lower aspects of life and habitual thought patterns, which you can change. You can also spend some time noticing what lifts your spirits. For example, for me, going for a run, doing yoga, meditating, talking to someone I love, it lifts my spirits. So let's talk about fear pretty quickly. And there are three kinds. One we pick up from others because emotions are contagious. And again, we can say, universe, lift me out of mass consciousness and put me on a higher frequency. We can think about our heart. We also have fear about moving into something different and expanding, and just know that it's a habit to feel that way. And you can see the opposite of what you're feeling. And that's an exciting way to change it. In other words, for example, let's just say you're studying for a test, or you have to do a presentation. You see the end of that. Everyone's clapping with the presentation, or you're getting the paper back with an A on it, simple things. So there's a lot of anger right now, and some of that is just, again, it's in the collective. But most of us feel angry about not knowing what to do when we feel upset, or when we feel hurt, or about the damage that occurred earlier in our lives, or we might feel frustrated. There are many, many ways of working through anger, and it's helpful to talk to an intuitive or someone who can help you find the part of yourself that you may have lost in the more difficult parts of life. Although life is not always fair, anger rarely changes anything, and it often makes life worse. So if something in your life is causing anger, it's wise to write out your feelings, put those away, and then see what it is that you really want to do, or really what you want to achieve. So we've been talking about animal totems. We've been talking about working with emotions and thoughts that mask who we really are. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some wonderful ways of becoming more of who you truly are. So let's go to break now.
Disease, one of the most dreaded words in our vocabulary. Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Did you know traditionally we have viewed disease as a degenerative process? Disease is better understood when we view it as dis-ease in the human body. Dis-ease means without ease. Health is not merely the absence of disease, it's when every part of the body works together effortlessly, relaxed and at ease. It's that relaxed state that lets energy flow in waves through and around the entire body. Every organ has an electrical charge, and when overcharged or undercharged, dis-ease occurs. And it is an effort to go through our day. We are able to determine the exact dis-ease of the body and design a specific solution to correct the nutritional imbalance. Contact us at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. And visit us at maryjanemack.com.
Do you sometimes feel overwhelmed by your mind? Powerless when it seems to spin in worry circles or bombard you with self-critical thoughts? Do you want to learn how to master your mind and feel more in control of your life? Listen to Dr. Friedman's Empowerment Radio. Shift from confusion to clarity, self-doubt to confidence, and from anxiety to peace and balance. Dr. Friedman and his many guest experts share the insights and tools you want to live with greater ease, joy, and purpose. Tune in to Empowerment Radio every first and third Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time.
Living a richly abundant life sound too good to be true? Listen in to Richly Abundant Women with Julie Steelman on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Embrace a vibrant future of breaking free financially and creating a richly abundant life filled with prosperity and growth. To learn more about Julie Steelman and Richly Abundant Women, visit www.juliesteelman.com.
This is Debbie Pokornik with a break-free parenting tip. Parenting will always be a bit of a mystery. Who knows why some parenting ideas work and others do not? Or why some kids seem to succeed despite family setbacks, while others have so much given to them and yet fail to thrive. The The one thing we do know is that once you have a child, you'll never be quite the same again. Awe-inspiring emotions like overwhelming love, extreme guilt, intense frustration, and incredible joy make this job second to none. Breaking free of parenting pressures means recognizing the pieces that make us unique, the pieces that we carry with us from the past, and the pieces that are influenced by the society we live in. When we can pick and choose which pieces we want to keep around and change the others to align with our inner wisdom, we will feel more self-assured in our role as a parent.
For information and to work with Debbie, visit empoweringnrg.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Griffin at OneTrueSelf.com, and you're listening to The Power of Inspiration and Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio, where you can experience a higher vibration in a new state of mind. Oh, we've been talking about totem animals and how to let go of who you're not, and now we're going to talk about who you really are. So let's just begin with feeling your heart space, and we're going to draw a big circle in our chest. And we're going to just feel pink light, which is universal love, flowing through that space. And feel that coming in. And feel yourself becoming braver and more courageous and more interested in expressing who you really are. If you can, think of a moment when you really felt like yourself and you were happy. And let's feel that inner self within you. And let's imagine we're outdoors. Where I am, I'm near the mountains, so I'm just going to imagine I'm higher up in the mountains. And I'm hearing water rush by and the beauty of that song. And I'm feeling the cold, damp wind, and I can smell all the evergreen trees. And it feels like everything is expanding around me. And I'll just imagine a wolf or two there, because that always feels so good. And let's feel nature giving us exactly what we need. The right air, the right feeling, the right sensation of joy. Being grounded. And since everyone here has this memory, let's ask nature and the wolves to bring back the memories of the times when you were a powerful creator. The lifetimes when you could think about things and they happened. The lifetimes when your body was strong and powerful. The lifetimes when it was easy for you to find who you were and act on it, and you knew that you were going in the right direction. And let's bring in feelings of adventures. What are 2 or 3 wonderful things that could just happen to you? What would that be? Wonderful surprises. Would it be abundance? Would it be falling in love? Would it be living in a wonderful place? Would it be flying somewhere? Would it just be that life is going about 10 times better than you thought it was? Think about how you feel when you're truly yourself, and that's in harmony with you, and that power flows through you. Let's think about your infinite presence for a moment. That your spirit is limitless, infinite. That you can tap into anything. That you have many inborn gifts that you came here with. That you're probably 100 times more intuitive than you think you are. That you really do know what's going on and you really do know how to find the solutions, even if it doesn't feel like it. Bring in that presence that's always looking after you. And if you have angels that want to help with this, let them come in and let them stay around you. And now let's recall some memories. Think of a really happy, wonderful day that you had and where you were and how easy it was to laugh and how every single second that you were alive felt really wonderful. Now think about a time when you were successful, that you created what you wanted with your work or your inner work, and how it just felt like something clicked. And that was who you really were. That part of you that can do that was dominant and in the forefront. Think about a time now when you pulled in abundance and when you pulled in love. Feel that mingled feeling of abundance and love. And usually when we let that happen, we are creating and manifesting, but we also feel vulnerable. So let yourself feel safe to feel vulnerable for a minute. And feel that. And see yourself as the wolves, or the universe might see you, as powerful, aligned, and magical. And now let's imagine a wave of energy coming in from the universe. And the universe is sending you power to create in a new way. And it's just going to move through any blocks that you have. And it's going to open up a space for that. And feel that space where you can move through the limitations that you had before. And that you can find new qualities and new wonderful parts of you. Feel this miraculous part of you. See your life changing. See yourself flowing through what has stopped you before. And ask yourself if you could have anything or be anything that's in alignment with your spiritual path, what would it be? So take a moment and ask yourself that. And ask yourself, what is the vibration for you that creates miracles in your life? What is that feeling? Bring that feeling into you and feel it expand. Now send some love and light to yourself. Send it to the parts of you that have been your limitations in the past, and ask that part of you to let go. And let's ask nature, the wolves, the trees, the herbs that grow in the grasses, and the power animals to open up your life and give you hints to move in the right direction. So in closing, here's the tip of the week. Notice the presence of animals in your life. Look up what they mean. Become aware of how you feel lower emotion and learn how to change it at least 2 or 3 times a day. Come back and listen to some of the exercises here. Consider how the earth and animals want to help you find the better parts of the true you. Do something brave or different. Remember who you are and find a higher vibration. You can sign up for the weekly newsletter on my website, onetrueself.com, onetrueself.com, and receive tips about the energetic weather, developing on a spiritual level, and similar information to what we've shared today. So thank you for tuning in to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening show, where you can experience a higher vibration and a new state of mind. Please join me on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of every month at 12 noon Eastern, 11 Central, and 9 a.m. Pacific. And next time we'll talk more about what you can do to find that higher vibration and become more of who you truly are. Have a great week, and I'll see you back here next time.
Thank you for listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia Griffin to master a higher frequency for a new state of mind. Join us next time as Julia takes us deeper into the memory of the moments of light where transcendence and enlightenment emerge. The memory of the jewel of consciousness is always lived within you to tap into waves of energy and create huge changes by imagining the beauty of the vision and desires that are hidden in the heart. Learn to find your way back to nature, beauty, and your own heart, which holds the secrets of your existence and future. To discover more about Julia's adventures, animal communication, and the teachings she brings to every show, visit OneTrueSelf.com. That's OneTrueSelf.com. That's ONE, TrueSelf.com.
Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.